Wake up.
Oh, wait, is it over? Is
Yeah.
the intro over?
Yeah.
I thought you did a good job with the intro, Noel.
I appreciate it, Dan. It's very nice of you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Advanced Shouting alongside my good friend, my dear friend, Michael Barton, and also Dan Petcher.
Folks, before the show, like our little pre-show party before we started, I really pissed off Noel, so I'm not going to push any more buttons right now.
Yeah, please.
But before we start, huge, big happy birthday out to Michelle. She's an avid listener of the show. She's here tonight. I know she's in lockdown for your birthday. I was in lockdown for mine as well. It sucks, but we're really happy you're spending your birthday party with us and hope that you can have a little bit of fun tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Happy birthday.
Absolutely. I also had a lockdown birthday. It's fun,
Yeah.
It's great. But as we win the election, we have the ultimate news hump today. I mean, brilliant to do this and bringing back one of their former managers, known cheater, Alex Cora, as their manager. So AJ Hintz got a job back in the organization. Red Sox bring back Alex Cora. I'm assuming Carlos Beltran will get a job someplace. Not with the Mets.
We'll get to that next.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk a little football later with Rich Hammond from The Athletic, who covers the Rams and the NFL. And the Kings. So we'll talk a little Kings, Michael, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Red Sox once got rid of Mookie Betts. I mean, that organization just took a nosedive down. Didn't want to pay probably the best player in baseball. Maybe a little bit lower than Mike Trout, but very, very close. Then they bring back Alex Cora. Ron Renicky guess he kept the ship alive, a sinking ship. But they brought back Alex Cora.
Yeah, so I guess there's a statute of limitations on cheating and doing something wrong. And apparently in baseball it's 2 years.
Yeah,
it's really annoying. You cheated. You robbed the team of the World Series. And actually, if I'm being fair, if they didn't cheat, they still might have won. But the advantage was so enormous. It was clearly a game changer. So, you cheated. You flat out cheated. You should not be able to get a job again.
At least not that soon, right? At least maybe you have to go back to them. There should be some punishment.
Yeah.
If you are in college football and your team ends up with all these sanctions and everything like that, you don't swap schools and go from a Pac-10 team to a Big Ten team. Usually you have to go back and be a coordinator, or maybe you go back to a small school.
Right.
If you get fired in the NHL, unless you're one of the approved 10 coaches of the league, you get a new job. But if you're not, usually you have to go back to being an assistant, or maybe go back to the AHL and prove yourself again. Who's the Sabres' new coach? He had to do that. Not new coach, but who is there?
Was it Ralph Kruger?
Right. He had to go to Europe.
Europe.
And Mark Crawford went to Europe to berate players. But I'm just disgusted with Major League Baseball. I really am. It's just hard to be a fan of the sport. They are run by the most incompetent commissioner in the game right now. And they make it hard to like them. And you want to like them because there's so many good things going on with the sport. But it's just not run well from the top. From the bottom down, it's okay once you get into the individual players on the field. But from the top up, it's like a chicken running around with its head cut off. And it's just disturbing that, hey, we can cheat. Nothing happens to the players. The coaches sit out a year and boom, they get new jobs.
Isn't like in NCAA football, if a program violates, agent and player interaction or whatever, they can get banned from bowl games for like 5 to 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
The Astros should have not been able to play in the postseason this year, and they probably should have had no first-round draft picks for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Look what the NHL did with the Coyotes.
Yeah. But I know what. As much as I hate the Red Sox, I don't blame the Red Sox because
no, he's an available manager.
He served his 1-year suspension, and they brought him back. He didn't violate anything with the Red Sox.
It's like I don't blame players who get paid $400 million. I blame the owners.
Yeah.
If I was a player and an owner comes to me and says, "Hey, here's $300 million to play a game that you would pay to play," I'll take it. Sure, thank you.
Real quick, we look in the comment sections. We got a message from Zachary Fogelman, and he just simply says, "Father, check your messages for the Rams segment questions." It's fantastic.
I got him right here.
Yep.
Zach Fogelman, our segment producer.
Segment producer Zachary Fogelman. Yep.
Exactly.
Hair expert. Has he cut his hair yet?
No.
We should do. We should take a picture of his head and put it on different cards.
It's like that commercial with for Hulu has live sports with us.
Yeah, it's Hulu has live sports. Yeah.
Put them on there. But I mean,
what kind of message are you sending to the fans of your sport that you can just basically do whatever you want? And also, Justin Turner, basically could have given both teams in the World Series COVID, and nothing happened to him either.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you said, it's really at the managerial level that it's complete. It's a mess. It's a shit show. Complete shit show.
Yeah. But then you look at like Carlos Beltran, who was hired by the Mets. We'll talk about the Mets in a little while. He might be an odd man out here because he's not going to get a managerial job,
and he should. If these two get their jobs back, he should get a job too.
Yeah, I mean, out here is a good manager. I mean, we had a really good team who won the World Series his first year there. Second year, not so much. But AJ Hinch is also a good manager too.
He is. No, he is.
Right, and I don't think he was like the catalyst of the whole scandal. I mean, he served his time within the law. So I mean, what are you going to do? You blame Major League Baseball. You don't blame these guys who served the suspension.
Right.
That's really all it is. So it's a shame, but it also shows you the lack of candidates in baseball.
Right.
Bringing back two of these guys, and then also.
Don't you have anyone young in your organization, like a bench coach that's ready, or a third or first base coach, or someone in your minor leagues that you're willing to give a try, a new voice, a different look on the game? It just seems like there are 35 managers for 30 teams, and they just recycle.
Yep. Yeah. It's the old boys club for sure.
I will say that's one thing the NBA does well. The NBA thinks out of its box. Well, they're not always successful, but you see people in the NBA from all walks of players, managers, former coaches, college coaches. You definitely see a lot of diversity in their hires. Now you need to see Becky Hammond gets hired. She should be a head coach somewhere, and she will someday. It's just a matter who the first team's going to be that does that.
Yeah, and NFL's the same way. I mean, Sean McVay got the Rams job when he was 31?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
they're weird. The NFL's weird too. They like to recycle players. Like to recycle coordinators.
But the problem with the NFL is like when a coach or a head coach gets fired, usually they go back to being a coordinator.
Right.
And of course, I got to talk about Jets real quick here. Because real quick, Adam Gase got fired.
We're going to talk Mets next, right?
Well, after football.
Okay. Yeah. There's one thing that's related to the Mets. I want to piggyback off that. I meant to tell you guys today, and I forgot. So I'm just reminding you guys right now.
That's a piss poor job.
It's another big story about baseball. So go ahead. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just was reminding you guys because I'll probably forget because I'm old.
Yes, you did. Okay. So Gase gets fired by the Dolphins, right? Same offseason, he gets hired by the Jets. So there's no like bringing him down a notch. Get humble. Even Pete Carroll had to go through that.
Right. So
Bill Belichick. These guys, Hall of Fame coaches. Adam Gase not so much. So I think he's invincible, and that's exactly what he's probably gonna get retained next year because of the Jets hierarchy is he doesn't report to the GM, he reports to the owner, which is a little weird. That's why this team.
But isn't it because of that so-called Belichick tree? He's one of the branches off the main.
He's not even on that tree. I don't even know. Like he's on the Peyton Manning tree, which screw the Jets. Belichick, like Josh McDaniels. Was it?
Who's the coach of the Cowboys? Isn't he a Belichick guy?
I don't know.
McCarthy.
I don't think so.
No, but no.
He's coached the
Dolphins coach, I think.
Oh yeah, Brian Flores. He is.
Yeah.
Who's a really good coach.
But most of Belichick's coaches have not had good careers.
No. But if you look, I think Andy Reid's coaches have.
Yeah, Andy Reid's coaches have done fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And Belichick is a Parcells guy, right?
Yes, he's from the Parcells family tree.
Yeah, he overtook Parcells in a lot of ways. Yeah. But it's funny because the Patriots play the Jets this week on Monday night, which is another stellar Monday night game.
I have to do pre and post game. I have to do Jets pre and post game. That should be fun.
I'm sorry, but speaking of football,
I have to do puzzle. I have to do a puzzle on Monday night. Won't be able to watch that stinker.
I think I might want to do anything but watch that game because. Yeah.
You know what though? After the past week that this country's had, you could use a little break from watching that for a little while.
Yeah, But speaking of like ultimate news dumps, you would think that today you can reinstate Barry Bonds or have him go to the Hall, reinstate P. Rose.
Yeah. This is the best time for news dumps. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk a little football with Rich Hammond from The Athletic. Hey, Rich, how's it going?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Good. Thanks, Rich. Thanks for joining us, Rich.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So the NFC West, which could arguably be the best division in football, it's the bizarro NFC East where everyone is fighting for a playoff spot.
Putting it nicely,
very nicely.
Exactly. I guess who would be? I guess you can not count the Seahawks because you figure that would be this good. Besides the Seahawks, who is like the most surprising team in that division right now?
Well, you could say surprising good and surprising bad. I mean, Arizona, I think they're maybe a year ahead of where people expected, although you saw what they were doing in the offseason. I think you could kind of see it coming with the kind of talent that they had there. But they're a very strong team. And then on the other side, I mean, San Francisco, but just the injuries, you can't put that on anything else, really. It's not like they have a deficiency in coaching or talent or anything like that. They've just been slammed with so many injuries, so you never expect that. And then the Rams, somewhere in the middle. I would put them honestly on a little bit of the more disappointing side at this point. And like you said, Seattle, the class of the group, they always seem to be there no matter what, no matter the turnover, no matter what's going on. You can always pencil Seattle in as being near the top of that division. So no surprise there.
I'm such an old school guy. There are still moments where I catch myself saying, wait, Seattle's not in the AFC West anymore? What?
Yeah, right. Or Phoenix Cardinals or things like that. Yeah.
How's DeAndre Hopkins working out for Arizona, and how's it working out for Houston?
Yeah, I mean, everybody saw that at the time. Like, what are these guys doing? And that was a move right there where you made go, okay, Arizona, they're pushing the gas pedal on this. They're not going to wait a year and see if they can bring this around. They want to try to do it right now, and we'll see. It takes a little while. I mean, they've still got some big games to play, but they definitely look like they're the team to reckon with in that division.
Yeah, right. And you're right. The 49ers, I mean, in most sports, it's next man up, no excuses. But in their case, they're next man up.
At some point that you just can't recover from that.
You can't overcome that. You just can't. It's hard enough to win a game in the NFL, period. Even if you're the best team playing the worst team, but with completely decimated, impossible.
And when you're that team, everybody's gunning for you now. When they saw the success that you had, not unlike the Rams last year, it's like you're getting everybody's best shot. They don't care that you're shorthanded. They're coming for you.
Right. And what do you make about Jared Goff? I mean, you see flashes of brilliance in him. You saw his game last week. I mean, is he just a system quarterback thanks to McVay, or do you think he really could lead this franchise?
No, it's there. And that game that he played last week, that was one of the worst. I mean, Jared Goff had an awful 2016 rookie season. There were a lot of things going on there. That was his worst game that I'd seen since 2016, independent of anything else. Take away play calling, take away offensive line, just purely himself. That was the worst he played since he was a rookie. So I wouldn't put too much on that game in particular. But he does. They need a lot of things to go right. When he's at his best, everything else is kind of clicking around him. Obviously, the offensive line is clicking, but the run game is going. They're able to mix in some play action, some rollouts, things like that. So when you say system quarterback, I mean, it's, to me, everybody is a system quarterback except for maybe like a Patrick Mahomes, right, or a Lamar Jackson. So is he on that level where he can just take a game over no matter what's going on around him? No, I don't think he'll ever be in that category, but very, very few are. The way this Rams offense is designed is to play to Jared's strengths. I mean, it's not the other way around. I mean, Sean McVay is looking what Jared can do and say, okay, we're going to build our offense around this. It's not like Jared is just fitting into what Sean McVay likes to do, if that makes sense. So would you like to see some better things? Yeah. What was happening last Sunday was just unacceptable. And everybody knows that. And you just can't have that, not in these games, not in this division.
Yeah, I was a long life Rams fan. When they moved to St. Louis, half of my friends who were Rams fans said, I'm moving with them. I was one of them who said, nope, I had Rams pajamas, pajamas with horns on them. I hated that team. Of course, they won the Super Bowl. Was it the following year or maybe 2 years after?
2 years later, I think. Yeah.
But I go back to the Wendell Tyler and Flipper Anderson and Pat Hayden days and Frank Corral kicking those 3 field goals in Tampa Bay in '79 to go to the Super Bowl again, leading the Steelers 13-10 at the halftime of Super Bowl 14, I think it was. Anyway, and so when they moved back, I was really excited to get on board, and I was a huge Jared Goff fan. And after they went to the Super Bowl, I thought, okay, this team is going to be good for a long time. What do you think the problem is? Why aren't they clicking? Because their coach is awesome by all accounts. Their quarterback is he's not in the Mahomes category, but he's top 10 probably quarterbacks in the league. They have good receivers. They have like great defense, good offensive line. So what really is missing right now?
Yeah, right now I think it's a little bit of an identity crisis. I'm not sure exactly they know what they want to be just yet. When you look at the success that they've had this year, it's a run first. I mean, you think about Sean McVay and you think about Jared Goff and throwing the ball around and all these crossing routes and everything else. But really, when you go back to 2017 and 2018, the engine of that was Todd Gurley. He was the one that really made that offense go. And obviously things went south there and they end up cutting Todd Gurley. But they still have the potential for a pretty good run game. I mean, they've got 3 guys right now, and Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, Cam Akers. These guys have potential, but Sean seems to be having a little bit of trouble kind of sorting that out and then just sticking to that run game is not something that he's able to do as much as he needs to. You look at just this past game in Miami, they're getting blitzed and they're not able to deal with it well. Jared's not dealing with it well. He's not getting any time to throw. And sometimes the answer to that is just to simplify and put the ball on the ground, try to back them off a little bit. And they've had success with that in the past. They're a good running team. They threw the ball 61 times in that Miami game. And that was not a game that was terribly, terribly out of hand. They were still in it, and they were getting a good defensive effort in that game. So Sean, he gets a little pass happy. I think he gets a little confident in his ability to throw the ball. And sometimes you just have to go back to basics and try to run the ball. And they can with those guys. And I think that's what Rams fans get frustrated about.
Yeah, I guess with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, it's hard not to throw it up there once in a while.
Tyler Higbee, Gerald. I mean, they've got a lot of great targets, so I understand it. But it's just you look back.
Right, 61 times is that's a serious number.
Yeah, that's too much.
Now, Rich, that was actually going to be my next question, because a team that used to dominate the ball on the ground, especially with Gurley, and those 3 guys are all talented. Do you think one of them will separate from the group to maybe get more trust in McVay so they can be a little more balanced? Because if you're throwing the ball 61 times a game, you're probably going to lose that game.
Yeah, the statistics will tell you that. Yeah, I think coming in, they thought Cam Akers. They spent a second-round pick on him and really, really liked him. He did some very good things in training camp. He had the injury. He hurt his ribs. He had he fell on the football and hurt his ribs and was slow to get back. So that kind of threw the whole rotation out of whack a little bit. I think long-term, that's what you'd like to see. You'd like to see Cam Akers with a bit of Darrell Henderson sprinkled in. Darrell Henderson has some very good skill. I don't know that long-term you look at him as being your 18 to 20 carries per game kind of guy. He's the guy you kind of want to mix in there a little bit, and he can definitely break off some great runs. But Cam Akers is the guy you look at a little bit more as your kind of traditional back. And then Malcolm Brown has value, short yardage situations, red zone, that sort of thing. He's a very valuable guy in terms of maybe getting you over the hump, getting you into the end zone, that sort of thing. So I think that's part of the problem is they're trying to sort that out and try to figure out, well, what do we have here? Where should we use these guys? But that's still not an excuse because they were running the ball well in that Miami game, and they didn't keep it on the ground enough.
So basically at this point, in terms of the depth chart at the running back position, there isn't really a clear number 1, 2, and 3. It's sort of a running back by committee and see how it pans out kind of thing.
Yeah, and the 49ers had success with that last year, so it's not something that you look at and say, "Oh, that's a terrible idea." I mean, sometimes you can, from week to week, opponent to opponent, whatever the matchup looks like, that it can dictate who you use. But I think with Cam Akers in particular, they'd like to work him in a little bit more and get him more part of that rotation.
I mean, when the offense stalled in years past, they had Greg Zuerlein to bail them out. This year, not so much. I think they're on their second kicker.
Yeah.
Probably third, soon. Do you regret not re-signing Zuerlein? I know John Fossil probably was a big deal, moving on, probably following Fossil to Dallas. But do you think that they regret signing him?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take ownership. When they decided not to bring him back, I understood. I mean, Greg was a free agent. He was going to cost a little bit of money. I forget how much he ended up signing for. A little over $2 million a year. I think they had other needs, obviously, just where they needed to spend that money. Greg, in the last couple of years, I mean, he'd been great, but he'd also had some injury issues from time to time. He'd had some consistency issues, especially in those kind of mid 40-yard field goals. So I understood it, but I also said at the time, like, when you go into that great unknown of kickers, you are like putting your toe into, shark infested waters. You don't know what's in there. And so they were definitely taking a chance. They brought in 3 guys in training camp, and they kept the guy who was the least experienced in Samuel Sloman, and ended up, obviously regretting it. He had some issues with extra points. Now they pivot to Kai Forbath, who's been around the league for quite a while. He had a terrible shank in that Miami game, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's just, I don't care which team you cheer for. If you don't have an established kicker, you are playing with fire, and that's what they're doing right now.
And I feel like the golden age of kickers was like, maybe 90s, early 2000s, and Gary Anderson's, and kicking is an issue in the NFL.
It is
everywhere. It's insane. I don't remember kickers missing field goal like you said, between 30 and 40 with such consistency. It's like a real issue.
It's hard to know why that is, but yeah, you look around the league and there's like 4 or 5 reliable kickers now, and then everybody else is kind of like, well, we'll hope for the best. And yeah, it didn't used to be that way, so I don't know whether there's an emphasis on it now, or what the deal is. But I mean, you even see teams now. I mean, all the analytics and tell you all that, go for it. Don't even try the field goal if it's
right.
4th and 1, 4th and 2, you go for it. So I don't know if there's a little bit of the emphasis on that, or whether or not the talent just isn't there. I don't know. It's a good question.
Next year, someone will pick a kicker in the 3rd round of their fantasy league.
Yeah.
That happened to me one year. Someone in the 2nd round took Jason Elam. So they're like, "Oh, I'm good at kicking now," and everybody's like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, because you're usually in a draft when one kicker goes, they all go, but not in the 2nd round.
Not in the 2nd round. And no one even said bad pick. We're like, okay. Everybody was just kind of quiet.
Yeah, let's talk quick about, I guess, the Rams' roommate, so to speak, the Chargers. Justin Herbert, who looks really good. Now, and with Tyrod Taylor actually getting butchered, unfortunately, by the team doctor, did you foresee Herbert coming in this early had Taylor been healthy?
No, I really didn't. I thought they were going to slow play that, especially because Anthony Lynn, I mean, he really puts an emphasis on kind of not turning the ball over. And Tyrod Taylor is you can say whatever you want about him. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't make a lot of big plays either, but he didn't make a lot of mistakes. And I think that was the thought with Anthony Lynn, is like, okay, we're going to be a defense first team. And we're going to put a quarterback in there who's not going to lose games for us. And of course, all of that went sideways, as any well-laid plan does. Nothing ends up happening the way that you want it to. You end up having some devastating injuries. Derwin James, out for the year, so there goes your plan for being a real heavy defensive team. Joey Bosa's had some issues, so that doesn't help. So now the dynamic changes there, and then, like you said, poor Tyrod Taylor tries to get a shot and ends up not being able to breathe. Just an unbelievable story. So in comes Justin Herbert, and I don't think anybody anticipated he would do what he's doing right now. I mean, it's extraordinary for him to come in and have this type of success. I mean, it's not like he has a ready-made offense around him. That Chargers offensive line has some issues, some injuries. They're without their top running back. Austin Eckler got hurt, so they're makeshift at running back, and he's still out there putting up huge games, looking really good in the process. It's not just good stats. He's looking really, really good. So if you're the Chargers, you've got a lot of concerns at this point, but you have to feel really good about the fact that you've got 3 more years of this guy on a rookie contract, and really the ability to build around him. That's all you can ask for, and then you just have to make the right decisions.
Yeah, he and Joe Burrow to me have been incredibly impressive. I thought Daniel Jones would have a slightly better year. He's turnover machine a little bit, but no.
He only beat Washington. Like 3 of his 4 career wins are against the Washington football team. So he'll win this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I bought in on the Daniel Jones hype too. I drafted him in both of my fantasy leagues after reading that what a breakthrough he was going to have this year, and it's like, well,
no, Saquon doesn't help either, and they don't have the most. He doesn't have a ton of talent around them either. I think it's hard actually for both New York teams to really get on the quarterbacks with the just void of talent around them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what you have to look at. It's independent of, and that's part of what makes Herbert so impressive. He doesn't have that ready-made offense around him, but he's still doing good things. But yeah, I totally agree.
He's a big boy, right? He's like 6'5", 6'4".
Yeah. And he can move too. I mean, he's not like a statue back there. He can get out. I don't think they want him to run as much. They want to keep him on the field. But running that offense that they run at Oregon, he's not afraid to tuck it in and take off down the field, and he can do it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, so let's switch gears real quick. I know Michael's a big Kings fan, so what do you got, Michael?
What do I got is I'm not expecting too much for the next year or two, but I feel that we're definitely on the right trajectory. How long do you think it's going to take for some of these kids to crack the lineup?
Yeah, I think you're starting to get there. It might be another year or two. The whole rebuilding process is kind of interesting to me because I'm still kind of trying to figure out what their model is here. Obviously I covered the Dean Lombardi era, and he had a very kind of specific model to where he came in and he established his core right away, his core of young guys. And a lot of that he was fortunate to inherit from Dave Taylor, where he had Dustin Brown, he had Anjay Kopitar, he had Jonathan Quick. He was able to draft Drew Doughty in his second or third year. So he had that core right away of guys who was like, okay, we're going to build around this core of 4 or 5 players. And then they were able to supplement that with bringing in the Matt Greens and Jared Stoles and Justin Williams. And then they were able to draft some younger guys to bring in. This is a very different model because what Rob Blake is doing here is going very heavy on the young guys right now, just building up that farm system, that reserve list as much as he can. And that's what you're trying to do there is just play the percentages and see like, okay, we've got maybe 10 of these guys who we really like. And if 5 of them turn into legit NHL players, then we're in pretty good shape. But they're still pretty early on in that process. And that was the one criticism that I kind of had is I didn't think they pivoted early enough to this to kind of be like, okay, we got to just go all in with this rebuild right now. So they might be another year or two into like, okay, we got to bring these kids along slowly. You don't want to rush them. The good thing that you can do in the interim there is if you start getting some of these big salaries off the books, then you can maybe start to build around some of those guys. You can bring in whoever your next generation Justin Williams is, or your next generation Matt Green, so when some of these younger kids, when the Turcottes and the Kaliev and the Byfields, start to come along, then they have those guys at the NHL level already to help them. You don't want to put them in that situation where it's like it's on them to carry the team. It's on them to bring it back. So I think maybe they'd want to slow that down, maybe another year or two and see what they have and try to have that core in place and then build it back up. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I know it's been 6 years now, but I was saying, I'd say from 2016, 15, 16, even 17, I felt like the team's identity was trying to hold on to that heavy game that won them 2 cups. And by that time, the league had become fast, and we weren't fast. We still had Dwight Kings and Jordan Nolans and, Dustin Brown, he's fast-ish, but in terms of, NHL speed today, he's not considered a fast player. And I think you're right. They're making that pivot now, but it's interesting. They're going so young. Do you think Byfield will see actual ice time, not just in preseason, in the regular season, or maybe just because he's such a big kid, And
right. Yeah, I'm not against it, and especially, I have no idea what's going to go on this year with like the junior seasons and things like that. But you always sometimes get the opportunity to bring those guys up later in the year and give them a little try, or you can do the 10 games or whatever it'll end up being this year. At the start, I'm all in favor of that. I think that's a great idea because the pressure is very low, and it gives these guys a taste of what it's like just to be in an NHL locker room, to be on NHL ice. It's not going to hurt them, even if they go out there and they're terrible for 10 games. Right. Your expectations are not high, so it doesn't hurt to have them out there. But yeah, Michael, I was, when they let Dean go, I kind of thought, okay, I understand it, but that's kind of the natural point to pivot and be like, okay, we're going to change the whole strategy right now. And it kind of seemed like at that time, I think that was 2016, right? And it seemed like they let Dean go, they let Daryl Stetter go, but they kind of still thought, well, we needed to let those guys go, but we still think we have enough to keep this going. And that was a kind of a weird strategy to me, because I think that would have kind of been the point where you go, you know what, we had our run, it was great, but now we need to change. Now, part of that was they had those big contracts that are really hard to get out from under. Right. You can't do a total pivot right away, but it just seemed like they waited a couple of years, and that just kicks the can another couple of years down the road.
I took so much flack from all my Kings fan friends. In 2016, I said, guys, trade Jonathan Quick right now. Just trade him now. We still, or maybe in 15, Martin Jones seemed like he was going to be our next number one. We all know didn't really work out for him in San Jose, but we could have gotten a king's ransom for Quick in 2016. And, it's hard to trade away your 2-time Stanley Cup, face of the franchise, almost goaltender. So I understand why they didn't, but it's a business. Do what do you want to win, or do you want to make your players happy? There's a delicate balance there, I guess.
Yeah, and that's, again, they made the big move. You fire your GM, you fire your coach. That's the time to make that big pivot if you're going to do it. And they decided to kind of split the middle a little bit. And I don't want to say they're paying for it because I think they have a plan for what they want to do, but it probably just extended the misery, I guess you could say, a couple of years longer. But I think they're on the right track. It just might take a little bit more time.
And thanks for not wanting to retire or be traded, Jeff Carter. Really appreciate it.
That's one of them. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yep. Score 7 goals in 8 games and disappear for 30. It's so cool.
But Rich, thanks for a few minutes tonight. Follow his work on The Athletic. It's great. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much, Rich.
All right, take care.
You know what? Actually, just popped in my head. Could Quick be someone that they find a way to get to Seattle?
I have no doubt that they will leave him unprotected.
But you try maybe make a trade with Seattle so they take him. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years is his contract?
I think he still has 3, right?
Yeah.
It's more than 2. I know that.
Yeah. But I don't know. He's such. I watched the games this year. He had games where he had flashes of past brilliance, and then there were games where you're like, he just doesn't have it anymore.
I still think maybe if you're not Seattle, but if you put him, it's the problem with him is his contract, because if he wasn't making that much money, and if he was like Ryan Miller now, or if he was a 1B with somebody, maybe played 35 games instead of 60, I still think you can get some good hockey out of him.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's going to be interesting. I'm not, a lot of my friends are like, oh, we're going to be so good next time. I'm like, yeah, we're probably not. Blake Lizotte is, our third line center right now. And I love him. He's got a motor that doesn't stop, but he's 5'4". So He's not literally 5'4". He's probably 5'6". But
a lot of cricket talk in the comments today. So maybe Joanna should come on one week and explain cricket to us. I've watched it, I've worked on it, and I still don't understand it. So maybe we should have her on one time and she can give us a tutorial for Americans on how the hell cricket works.
Absolutely. I my stepdad's English, so I don't follow cricket, but I understand it. Not the intricacies of it, but
right.
I understand the game that can last 5 days and there's still no winner. But it's Joanna, isn't there a thing called
there's a shorter version,
2020 or
I think it's called 2020, right? Help us out here. Well, Yorkshire cricket is apparently the best.
There you go.
Yeah, there is a shorter version of the game. I'm not sure what the name. I'm not sure what the name of it is.
But it's like it lasts 1 day instead of 5.
Right. There's a set that's defined. 2020. There we go.
But cricket is, it's massive. India, Pakistan, England, obviously, Australia. It's. I have a pair of Australian team cricket pants. I just randomly. I don't know why. I almost want to go show you, so you believe me. But
we talking Mets now? We talking Red Wedding?
Oh, meet the Mets. Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, Mets cleaning house.
It's like Thanos coming and just wiping away everybody, and Met fans and even baseball fans could not be any happier.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I really don't have much to say about it because we don't know who he's going to replace these people with.
We're just bringing Sandy Alderson back.
Well, yeah, Sandy's
senior advisor, right?
But again, it's gonna end up being who do they trade for? Who do they buy? But I'm excited. It's really a really exciting time to be a Mets fan because it's kind of been, same old for the last decade or 15, 20 years. And so now to have some real potential for putting a great roster together is super exciting.
And for those who might not know, Steve Cohen, the Mets' new owner, he is worth about $14-15 billion. He is the person that Damian Lewis's character in the show Billions, Bobby Axelrod? Yeah, that character is based off of Steve Cohen. So this guy he's an eccentric billionaire who's going to spend money. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Mets. And this is great for Mets fans. I'm very happy for them because it's nice that they're finally going to have an owner that knows that they're not a small market team and has the deep wallet to do. And I think right now, I think he's going to want to make a splash in this offseason. This is what I wanted to talk about. Reports out of Cleveland yesterday say that the Indians are going to trade Francisco Lindor before the season starts.
Wow.
Would the Mets be a team looking to make a splash? Now, obviously, he's in the last year of his contract, so he's going to be UFA after this next season. So you'd want that window to negotiate an extension. If Francisco Lindor is available, is he a player?
How much is he making?
Right now, he's only making $21 million a year. But he's going to look for.
It's amazing that you said only.
I know, because he's going to be looking for Machado money. He's going to be looking for top. He is arguably top 5 player in the league. He's going to be looking for that kind of money. He's only 26 years old.
Yeah.
But what's funny though is I know the Yankees are interested in him too.
And the Yankees might need a shortstop too. Well, they do need a shortstop because Glaber cannot play shortstop. They need to find a way to get him back to second base.
I don't know about that, but they could have their first real heated rivalry. The two franchises trying to get which is interesting. Also Trevor Bauer could be another guy.
He could be
a big 1 year deal.
And they're definitely going to talk to JT Realmuto because they need a catcher. They've needed a catcher for years.
Well, the report sounds like he wants no part in New York.
No, it sounds like he wants to stay in Philly. And if you're Philly and you gave up a player of Sixto Sanchez's caliber, you definitely want to re-sign him. How great is that name, Sixto Sanchez? Sounds like someone in a Western movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What happened? Sixto Sanchez came to town.
But it's also great about
that's one of the best names in sports.
Yeah. What's also great about Steve Cohen is that he joined Twitter, and he's very active now on there, taking feedback from Met fans. So this is a brand new day. I know Dan and I are not Met fans, but we're happy.
I'm very happy.
Endured this shit with the Wilpons for years. You know, it's good. So let's just see if he spends, the right way. He gets all those, Omar Mamnai, who's been there for years. Obviously Brody's been, not the greatest general manager, and the rest of his cronies. So getting Sandy Alston in there, who was there before, I'm sure he'll oversee everything and then hire a GM. I don't know if he's going to want to be the GM, but he'll probably have final say in baseball operations.
The problem with Brody is he was only there for very little time, but he managed to trade away a lot of your better prospects.
Yeah,
the Cano trade, really, even though Cano had a fine season, Diaz has been a mess. But they traded away some big-time talent in that process. So whoever comes in is going to have to clean this up a little bit. But on paper, this team, with the right additions, can be very good very soon.
Yeah, no, I certainly hope so. And in a world where rivalries really tend to not exist anymore, maybe Giants Dodgers is still pretty contentious. It's good for baseball to have the Mets and the Yankees good at the same time. I think although the 2000 series was the lowest rated viewership.
Didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. I don't care about rating. Like if the Islanders made the finals this year, I wouldn't care if 7 people watched it. Just me, and you, and a couple other people.
You know what? And Yankees, most people didn't watch, but people forget how close that series was. Actually, it was 4-1. 4-1 was the final. Game 1 was what, 12 innings?
Yeah.
Jose,
we were winning late 7th, 8th inning in a couple of the games, and of course, Armando came in and shit the bed. I mean, it could have been a very different series, but of course, it wasn't.
Yeah, Paul O'Neill had a big walk. That
you're not going to win with Jay Payton and Benny Agbayani in your outfield.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations, Met fans. I'm sure by next show there'll be some more news revolving the Mets.
I think so. I think they're going to be very active.
Yeah.
They might sign someone before we have a president.
That's true.
Okay.
It's possible, yeah.
No, it's coming to an end, thank God. All my friends from abroad are like, what the fuck is going on in your country, bro?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We have no idea.
The best part is that some of the some people are on the right are in Michigan saying don't what they were saying, like, don't count the votes, and then they're in Arizona saying count the votes, which one is it?
I know. And it's funny, I was having a discussion with a buddy of mine, and I actually enjoy politics, but this isn't politics anymore.
No, it's not.
And I remember the United States was always you were a donkey or you're an elephant. And it was Republicans or Democrats, and there was a girthy middle, and that middle is completely dissipated, and now it's left and right, like when I was growing up in socialist France. It's crazy. It's insane.
I will say, because we don't want to turn this into political, we'll move on right after this point. I am going to try my hardest, once this is all over, to get John King on this show, because that man is a superstar, and I just want to talk to him about the use of the touchscreen. Because I don't even remember capitals of states, and this guy's like pointing over here. He's like, oh, if you go down the I-23 corridor, you're in Wallasica County, and of course, that has leaned right for 30 years. It's like, what?
It's insane. He knows every county of every state. It's incredible.
And he's on his feet for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
I bet there are a lot of CNN employees looking for their iPhone charger. No, it's plugged into John King because he doesn't sleep.
No, they just reboot him at the end of the night.
Yeah. Every other network has their magic wall, and I've watched everyone. No one is even close to his.
Actually, the guy who's probably second best is Phil Mattingly, and he's also on CNN.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But hopefully by next show this will be all over.
Well, sure.
There was a meme going around. You guys think it's not true or not real?
Yeah,
I have confirmation it's not real.
Oh, it's a shame. Anyways, to explain to you guys, there was Wolf Blitzer's talking to John King, and they pan over to John King, and he's at the magic wall, and in the top right corner there's an ad for Pornhub that pops up, and he just flicks it away and looks around. I thought it was real, and I thought, oh my God.
No, I texted one of my buddies who works at CNN. He's like, no, that was not real.
Yeah.
Damn it. What a shame.
Yeah, that would have been great. All right, so let's do our shout-outs first. Dan, speaking of the election, good transition, because on election night, apparently the Major League Baseball gave out their gold gloves.
Look, here's what's like, and we rip on baseball because we really do love it, and it was such a big part of our childhood. and the sport has really gone south in the last few years, and not the fault of the players in the field, but like I said, it starts from the top. And so who decided that we should air the Gold Glove award show running up against the presidential election?
The first night, nonetheless, November 3rd.
Who made that decision? Now look, I'm sure if you put whenever you were going to air the Gold Glove Awards, it wasn't going to get a big rating. But at least give people a chance to watch it. No one's watching it. Even people that love baseball aren't watching it. It's just, at some point, the NHL and the MLB flipped. It was always, look, the NHL's not perfect, but the decisions they've made in the past year to 2 years have been really good, and their handling of the coronavirus and creation of the bubble and just the buy-in from the top all the way down has been fantastic. And MLB, it's just like they're trying to juggle chainsaws on a unicycle. They can't get out of their own way. And it's just frustrating because, look, would I watch the MLB Gold Gloves Awards? Probably not. But if I knew it was on, maybe I'd check for a little while. But there's no way I'm changing the channel when you have the drama that is unfolding right now with this country, and everybody is distracted. Obviously, it's why sports ratings are down so much. They always are in an election year, but this even more so. Like, how can you not get out of your own way and just be like, okay, we don't need to have it November 3rd. Why don't we have it November 10th?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you forget also, no, this is not counter dicking your point at all. But half the country did not vote. So half the country does not give a shit about politics.
But they're still watching.
I don't know. I have friends who just literally do not give a shit, and it boggles the mind. I have a friend who lives in Australia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe voting is mandatory in Australia.
I don't know. Well, our Australian friends will have to let us know on that.
Yeah, but it's just mind-boggling to me that 160 million people voted, and it's a huge turnout. And that means that half the country didn't vote. It's crazy. But no, I agree. That was not very good programming on MLB's part.
Like, I don't even think it's counter-programming because you have like a Monday Night Football game or somewhere, and another sports channel will throw on ice skating or something like that. Or
right.
Super Bowl, everyone shows reruns. This isn't counter-programming. I think this was just an oversight.
The only thing that, even last night was Thursday night, The Bachelorette was new. And that went up against the still no election results. But other than that, everything else has been has been fantastic. No spoilers, though. I'm going to watch it tonight. I don't know what happened.
Oh, my God. The fact that you even know that is so depressing.
Oh, it's so good.
That's sad.
It's so bad. It's good. Don't judge me. It's fantastic. I don't care.
I've never watched an episode, but I can tell you what's going to happen. Whoever is a runner-up is going to be the Bachelor the next season, right?
No. This is the most controversial season ever. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Did someone get stabbed? Someone get shot?
No, I don't know. I'm going to find out this week, but Chris Harrison was saying that this is going to be huge this week. I'll find out tonight probably.
Is there nudity for the first time?
No, I think what's going to happen is I think this Bachelorette leaves after 2 days.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
isn't she like in her 40s or something, and all the guys are mid 30s?
She's 39, and all the guys are 26.
Well, that's definitely not going to work. No, because she's fucking 10 times smarter than them, and whoever she ends up marrying, it's gonna last 6 months like it always does. Have any of the bachelors or bachelorettes remained married?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, a few.
Oh, okay.
I don't know them all. I haven't watched every season, but I'm locked in on it.
Sure you have.
Yeah, you can admit it. It's all right.
Okay, I've watched most seasons. All right. So anyway, Michael, what are you mad about?
I'm not mad about it, but I hear a lot of people say that auto racing is not a sport because the drivers aren't doing anything. It's the car that's doing it. That's the biggest crock of shit ever. Auto racing is absolutely a sport, especially if you talk about the three kings. The king of sport is Formula One, in my opinion. Then you have IndyCar and then NASCAR. Formula One and IndyCars are going around at 240 miles an hour. These guys are pulling 5 Gs, 5 times their body weight in corners. They're decelerating from 240 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour in 0.3 seconds. Their bones are cracking, their tendons, their ligaments are being stretched. Their internal organs are moving around. It's not only just a sport. There's a legit chance that every time they jump into that car, they're going to lose their life. So if you're going to tell me that, you know what's not a sport? Bowling's not a sport. Bowling's a game. Pool is not a sport. Pool is a game. Curling is not a sport. Curling is a game. If you want to say that auto racing is not a sport, then any and all equestrian sports are not a sport, because the jockeys or the fucking guy, it's the horse jumping the hurdles, not the guy. So it just pisses me off that these guys are really great athletes. They're supremely fit. Can they break some dude's ankle on the basketball court? No. Can they throw a 60-yard bomb right in the receiver's pocket? No, but it's a different kind of athleticism, but it absolutely is a sport. And it's people who say that auto racing is not a sport because they're not, the car does all the work is just asinine. I'm done.
All right, cool. Well, it's a great segue. You mentioned games and stuff like that. My shout out is to the National Toy Hall of Fame. Mr. Jenga, who was one of the 3 inductees this year. Chalk and Baby Nancy were the other 2.
Sidewalk Chalk.
How was Sidewalk Chalk not already in the Toy Hall of Fame?
They had a contentious relationship with the media. It's kind of like Jim Rice, so that's why. So the other nominees.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle.
How is Risk not in the Hall of Fame, Toy Hall of Fame? It had a special episode basically after it. Light Bright. How is Light Bright not in the Hall of Fame? A couple other Bingo.
Bingo's not in the Hall of Fame?
In the Hall of Fame. They had a song named after Bingo. That one bugs me. Tamagotchi was one of the the little computerized pet. He-Man toys. Yahtzee. How is Yahtzee not in the Toy Hall of Fame?
Yahtzee has to be.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
When did the Toy Hall of Fame open? This is just like...
It's in Rochester, New York, and which I wish I would have known that when I was in college in Buffalo, because I would have gone there.
You were one of the 7 visitors a year they get?
I'm sure they get a lot, but...
Oh, hey, it's really close to you. I used to be there. I've been to it. Is the Pez Factory.
Oh, I've been there.
You went to that. It's unbelievably awesome.
It's great. And
it's in Milford, Connecticut.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is there's a scavenger hunt. And
yes.
If you complete it, you get a certificate. So, of course, Zach, we went a couple of years ago. Zach printed it out, and he had it on his wall for a couple of years. It's a joke.
Well, yeah, grade C student, that's the best he's going to do. I'm kidding, Zach. I love you.
There's a great hockey chirp that you can use to tell someone you're going to beat the shit out of them, or you can use to tell your teammate you're going to feed them all day. Beautiful passes. I'm going to feed you like a Pez dispenser.
Right.
Great story. Okay, moving on.
And Michelle, just to answer your question, Othello is not in the Hall of Fame. Great game. Yeah.
I can't believe Risk isn't in there.
How about Operation?
That's got to be it.
Operation is not in there either.
Wow.
Yeah. So. But
how about Twister?
Twister is inducted in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
How about Guess What's Under My Sheets? I'm kidding.
Let's see.
What game is that?
It was nominated a couple of times, but hasn't gotten
it.
All right, this is coming off the rails. We should get to trivia.
Oh, let's get the trivia.
All right, trivia is going to be a little different today, boys. It's going to, since it's the only game going on right now, it's going to be NFL football Super Bowls. And I'm going to ask you questions about the Super Bowl, and you're going to have to name the losing team. And the way it's going to work is if you don't get it right, you're not eliminated. I'm going to keep score here. Okay. If you get it right, you get a point, and then there'll be a tiebreaker question at the end. So we're going to start early. I know that you guys are much younger than me, but I'm going to flip a coin. I have this beautiful Los Angeles Kings poker chip. That will be heads. The NHL logo will be tails. Dan, call it.
Heads.
It is tails. So, Noel, you go first. We're going to start with
No.
We're going to start with the first Super Bowl, and I'm going to tell you who won and what the score was. All you have to tell me is who lost that game. Green Bay Packers won 35-10.
Okay, and they beat Chiefs.
Yes, 1 point for Noel. We're not going to do Super Bowl 3, by the way, because that's way too easy. Super Bowl 2, Green Bay Packers 33, losing team 14.
Why do I feel like they beat the Chiefs again? No? Okay.
No.
No. All right.
It was the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders. Okay.
All right, let's go a little more contemporary to make it easier on you guys. Let's see, Super Bowl. That's too easy. Super Bowl 21. The New York Giants beat a team 39-20.
Denver Broncos.
Yes, point for you. Super Bowl 22. The Washington Redskins beat a team 42-10.
Denver Broncos?
Yes, sir. Super Bowl 23, the 49ers beat a team 20-16.
What Super Bowl was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I know this.
The Super Bowl 23.
Oh, the Bengals.
Yeah. 24, San Francisco went back-to-back and beat a team 55-10.
Chargers.
Denver Broncos.
Damn.
Let me see. That's too easy.
We need some easy ones. I'm not an NFL expert.
Okay, so
Give it to Noel. Give it to me.
all right, whose turn is it right now? It's Noel's turn?
Yeah, mine.
All right, let's see. Super Bowl 32, Denver beat a team 31-24.
That was the Packers.
Okay, nice job. I'll give you an easy one, Dan. Let's see. Giants. Super Bowl 25, the Giants beat a team 20-19.
Be the Buffalo Bills.
That is correct, sir.
Why is that the wide right game? Scott Norwood.
Yes, sir. All right. This is these Roman numerals, by the way. Super Bowl 37. Tampa Bay Buccaneers won 48-21.
The Raiders.
Sadly, yes.
Sorry.
Super Bowl 36. The Patriots won 20-17.
The Rams.
Yes. Let's see. Super Bowl 28. The Patriots won 32-29.
That was Carolina.
All right. You guys are really good at this. I'm surprised. Super Bowl 29. The Patriots beat a team 24-21. I was at work that day. Who works on a Super Bowl Sunday?
What was the score again?
24-21.
Which number was this?
Super Bowl 29.
What year was that?
2005.
So it wasn't. Oh shit. Oh God, I know this. It's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I was unbelievably drunk in the fourth quarter.
So you were puking like McNabb was, right?
I puked like McNabb. I was so mad at him in that game.
Super Bowl 40. The Steelers beat a team 21-10.
Oh, that was a terrible game. That was Roethlisberger's rookie year.
The Seahawks?
Yes. Super Bowl 41. The Colts beat a team 29-17.
The Bears?
Yes, sir. Super Bowl. I'm not going to do any New York because that's too easy for you guys.
I'm an Eagles fan. I don't care about New York.
My team's done.
Super Bowl 40, Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh won 27-23.
Oh, I know this one.
Wait, I go or you go, Dan?
You're up.
Okay. Didn't they just go?
Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's your turn, Dan.
Oh, the Cardinals.
Yes. Super Bowl 44. Saints won 31-17.
The Colts.
Yes.
That should have been there. Yeah.
Super Bowl 45. The Packers won 31-25.
Packers beat.
Aaron Rodgers was the MVP.
Yeah. Denver?
No, it was Pittsburgh.
Ah, okay. I forgot who the Packers beat that game.
We're going to go back in time a little, so because this is going to last forever otherwise. Super Bowl 13. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 35-31.
I'm gonna say Cowboys.
Yeah. That's still to this day one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, and one of the greatest calls of all time when Jackie Smith dropped the ball in the end zone. And the guy goes, Jackie Smith, my God, he must be the sickest man in America. We're going to go way back now. Here's some fun. All right, Super Bowl 5. I know. Is it your turn, Dan?
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
No, you have 2 zeros. I'm going to give you a chance to come back at least.
Nick, 5. What is it?
No. Let's go.
I think I know it.
Okay, Super Bowl 5. It was the Baltimore Colts won 16-13.
Vikings?
Cowboys.
All right. I thought I knew that one. I knew the Colts won that one. I just
let's see. Super Bowl 7. Miami beat Wash. Oh, no, that's over. Super Bowl 8. The Dolphins won 24-7.
The Vikings.
Yeah. Oh, you're pretty good at this.
When do we end this game? What's the?
All right, we're gonna end it right now.
Okay,
well, no one.
No one.
The tiebreaker was going to be name the venues and MVPs of every single game.
Oh God.
The Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I know, right? Joe Robbie.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that was cool. That was a good one. All right, we got a little cards here, real quick.
Some card action.
All right, so to fit the theme, we did football, but the first one's not football. But I pose a question to you guys: who is the most fearsome boxer in your lifetime?
Mike Tyson.
Hands down.
Okay. Wrong Mike Tyson. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So now we do football. I love this one because it's like the first time this kid's ever seen a football in his life.
He's like, what is this thing?
Like, is this a Fabergé egg? What the fuck am I holding here?
Then because we're 2 years old.
Oh, Dick Shiner.
We are 2 years old.
By the way, wait, hold on. By the way, Dick Shiner in a Browns uniform with Steelers logo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Buzz Nutter.
And then Apollo Creed himself, Carl Weathers.
Oh my God.
People forget that he, started his career as a football player. So yeah.
I didn't know he played football.
Yeah. Before he was heavyweight champion of the world and a bounty hunter, he was a football player.
that thing's gotta be worth money, I would think, right?
It's a great card, yeah.
That's a great card.
Yeah, I love that one. All right, so one more thing before we go. Long show today, but earlier in the week, one of the best goal celebrations probably ever.
Yes.
This was, I believe, I forgot what league this is, but we in the Jewish religion we celebrate, the marriage by breaking of the glass. So it's kind of right up my alley right here.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
This is the Italian league because it says Liga.
Liga, it could be, yeah. But the best thing about it is the photographer right next to him.
I know.
And he took some great still shots.
Some great pictures, yeah.
Oh,
that's a professional right there. Yeah.
So Michelle wants to know what's on your T-shirt.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, leg day. So, which every day is leg day for me. So yeah. But happy birthday, Michelle.
Yes. Everybody. Please subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 50 followers. We're going to give some stuff away when we get to 100. So please subscribe to Advanced Shouting on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay safe, everyone. Have a great weekend. And we will see you same bat channel, same bat time next week.
Sounds good.
All right.